Hey there everyone, it's me, Alex, aka UV. Okay, it's recording now. Just had some problems with the recording actually, but I think I fixed it now. Yeah, I wanted to talk a bit about like how I got to being who I am nowadays and like sort of my journey. Just because I felt like I didn't really talk about stuff like that in streams or in videos and stuff like that. So you probably know a lot of like my newer stuff, which I've done. So I'm gonna start back when I sort of started making music and getting into more creative stuff. Let's start just with sort of my family and like the background I grew up with. It's I've been growing up in quite a musical environment. My dad is playing guitar. My mom is a singer. My stepdad plays a lot of instruments, including saxophone, bass, guitar, piano, and stuff like that. He also teaches saxophone, actually. So, yeah, I sort of just came in contact with all of that stuff right from birth. So, yeah, I don't know. I sort of just, had my parents supporting me with all of that and just pushing me into it, sort of. Like not forcing me into it, but suggesting it to me, and I didn't really need to express the need to do that. And then I started making, I started with actually playing piano, a little bit of keyboard, and started with playing very, very simple stuff, and then just started to compose like my own little melody things and stuff like that. And then someday my stepdad handed me like a version of Logic 5 back then on Windows XP, which was fun to do. I actually worked with that quite a few years. I didn't really improve a lot or learn like a lot, but that was just due to the fact that I was in contact with a lot of music people, because I didn't really, I wasn't really around Discord people and stuff like that, or Twitter or SoundCloud. It was just like me and my parents, and I just showed them like, hey yo, I made this today, and they were like, yeah, that's cool, just go do that. And like they just said what they didn't like, so I was learning according to their stuff. Like my stuff was more weird and even more experimental than it probably is today. It had like way less structure and stuff like that. It was just random noises basically sometimes. Yeah, but I think I learned a lot about experimenting and learning through that a lot when I worked with Logic 5. Then I moved on to Cubase 7.5 actually, which I still work with today. My stepdad actually bought me that. Very nice, actually, that my parents support me with all of that. Same with my studio monitors. I didn't buy them as well, but yeah, that's sort of my privilege, I guess. Yeah, and then I started getting into more SoundCloud stuff through will.i.am actually. I think will.i.am was my first SoundCloud, like his track with Britney Spears, where how is it called? Scream a Child, exactly. I loved that tune back then. Then I started listening to more underground artists, I don't know, so more like into spinning records and stuff like that. Then I moved on to more Hexagon when Don Diablo started that, and I produced Future House for, I don't know, 2 years or something. Pretty much only that. And then I moved on to Future Bass, just because I felt I didn't really learn enough anymore in Future House, so I moved on. And yeah, well, that was I think in 2016, and now I'm here, or 2015. I'm not entirely sure anymore, but it was quite interesting then, just discovering how much there actually is. And then I started getting into more communities through first Facebook, just a little bit. I never really were in there, just because I didn't really like Facebook personally. I think I did a video about that one time. And then I started getting into more Discord service and, you know, talking to a lot of people and getting way more feedback and just, you know, just seeing the possibilities of what people can do and what I could do, you know. So it was really fun just seeing or looking back at the journey. I recently listened to some of my very old stuff from, I don't know from when, I think from 2014 actually. That was kind of cool. That was kind of fun to listen to. Yeah, and then I started, you know, designing my own artworks and stuff when I started uploading to SoundCloud. And also I made Minecraft Let's Plays back in the years when I started making Future House and stuff like that. But those very cringy, or were very cringy. I still did some, I think, last year. Might get into that at some point. I probably will just do different Let's Plays though, just because there's a variety of games which I want to try and which I want to play and which I want to show. I don't know, yeah, and I want to get more into streaming, but currently the Twitch name, I can't change it to UV just because Twitch only allows you to change it every 2 or 3 months, I think. So still Karu, which it was in between, as I already explained in the other video about why I changed my name. And yeah, I think that's like a rough sketch of my background story. Yeah, I started actually learning drums and violin as well, just so you know. Played those a few years, but then I sort of just, you know, went on to doing other things rather than just learning them properly. I don't know why, but I'm sort of more of the guy that does everything at once rather than just one thing straight. But I think that sort of guarantees a certain improvement just because you like get so much different angles of so much different stuff. Yeah, I hope you liked that video. Just me talking a bit to you about who I am, what I did, and stuff. Yeah. And I'd say we'll see you in the next video.